The void between Kepler's gate and the Titan colonies holds its breath like a gunslinger before the draw. Out here, where the solar winds whisper secrets to dead ships, and the stars watch with cold indifference, legends are born in blood and vacuum. My name's Marcus Thorne, and I've come hunting the most dangerous ghost in the Outer Rim, a woman they call the Comet Witch. 20 years she's been taking ships along this route. 20 years of merchants vanishing, cargo holds emptied, crews left drifting in their underwear with nothing but emergency rations and bruised pride. The authorities gave up after the first decade. Too many variables, they said. Too much space to search. But I know better. Ghosts leave tracks if you know how to read the dark. My ship, the Reckoning, cuts through the black like a prayer through silence. She's not much to look at. A modified freight hauler with more scars than paint. But she's got good bones and a quiet engine. Out here, quiet keeps you breathing. The cargo hold's empty except for the bait. 3 cases of Martian whiskey and a lockbox full of rare earth certificates. Enough to tempt the devil herself. The bounty on the Comet Witch is 50,000 credits, dead or alive. Most folks figure she's already dead, that the stories are just spacer tales grown tall in the telling. But I've seen the shipping manifests, cross-referenced the disappearances. There's a pattern in the chaos, a signature as clear as smoke rings in still air. She's real, and she's out here somewhere, waiting. I've been tracking her for 3 months now, following whispers through asteroid mining stations and backwater ports. The stories all paint the same picture. A woman alone on a ship that moves like liquid shadow, taking what she wants and leaving her victims alive but empty-handed. No kills, they say. Just a kind of cosmic highway robbery with a ghost's touch. The proximity alarm chimes soft as a church bell, and my blood goes cold. Something's out there, riding the edge of my sensors like a shark in dark water. I kill the running lights and drift, letting momentum carry me forward while I strain my eyes against the star field. The Reckoning sensors are good, but not good enough to catch a ship that doesn't want to be caught. Then I see her. She comes out of the asteroid field like smoke given form. Her ship, a sleek predator painted the color of deep space. No running lights, no heat signature that shouldn't be there. Just a whisper of movement against the stars. The Reckoning's computer can't get a lock on her. Can't even classify her ship type. She's a ghost made manifest, and she's coming for me. The comm crackles to life, and a woman's voice flows through the static like honey over broken glass. Well, well, another fly caught in my web. You can power down your engines now, stranger. This doesn't have to be difficult. I reach for the comm switch, then stop. Something in her voice, not just the confidence, but a kind of weary sadness that speaks of too many years in the dark. Name's Marcus Thorne, I say finally, and I'm afraid I can't do that. A pause. When she speaks again, there's something different in her tone. Thorne. I know that name. You're the one who brought in Black Jake Morrison, the one who cleared the pirates out of the Cerberus belt. Guilty as charged. Then you know how this works. Stand down and nobody gets hurt. I'll take what I came for and leave you with enough supplies to make port. I laugh, though there's no humor in it. See, that's where we have a problem. I didn't come out here to get robbed. I came looking for the Comet Witch. The silence stretches between us like a held breath. When she speaks again, her voice is soft as silk and twice as dangerous. Then I suppose you found her. The question is, Mr. Thorne, what do you plan to do about it? I'm already moving, throwing the reckoning into a hard burn toward the nearest asteroid cluster. The acceleration presses me back into my seat as the ship's engines roar to life. Behind me, the witch's ship moves like liquid lightning, matching my every turn with impossible grace. Running won't help. Her voice follows me through the comm. I know these rocks better than you know your own heartbeat. She's right, but I'm not running to escape. I'm running to get her where I want her. The asteroid field ahead is a maze of spinning rock and ice, a graveyard of mining operations that went bust when the ore played out. Perfect place for a showdown, if you know how to use the terrain. I thread the reckoning between two massive asteroids, their surfaces scarred by decades of mining equipment. The witch follows, her ship dancing through the obstacles like it was born to the dark. She's good, better than good, but I've got something she doesn't expect. The mining charges are still there, buried in the asteroid walls like sleeping dragons. 40 years old and probably unstable, but the detonators still respond to the right frequency. I learned that trick hunting pirates in the belt. Sometimes you have to bring down the mountain to catch the wolf. I trigger the charges as her ship passes between the asteroids. The explosions bloom like deadly flowers, sending chunks of rock spinning through space in a deadly ballet. For a moment, I think I've got her. Then her ship emerges from the debris cloud, scarred but intact. And I realize I'm dealing with someone who survived 20 years in the black by being better than everyone who's tried to stop her. Clever, she says, and now there's respect in her voice, but not clever enough. Her ship's weapons lock under the reckoning, and I know I'm outgunned, but I've got one more card to play. The cargo bay doors open with a mechanical groan, and the 3 cases of Martian whiskey tumble out into space, followed by the lockbox. The bait floating free in the void. There's your prize, I say. Take it and let me go. But she doesn't move toward the cargo. Instead, her ship drifts closer to mine, and for the first time, I get a good look at her through the viewports. She's younger than I expected, maybe 40, with silver-streaked hair and eyes like winter stars. Beautiful in the way that dangerous things are beautiful, like a comet burning across the sky. You really think I'm out here for the money? She asks, and there's something almost sad in her voice. Aren't you? Money's just a means to an end, Mr. Thorne. The question is, what's your end? Why are you really hunting me? The question hits me like a punch to the gut, because the truth is complicated. The bounty's part of it, sure, but there's more. There's the challenge of it, the need to prove that no one's untouchable in the black, and maybe, if I'm being honest, there's something else, a kind of loneliness that recognizes its own reflection. Same reason you're out here taking ships, I say finally. Because it's what I do. She laughs, and the sound is like silver bells in a graveyard. No, Mr. Thorne. I'm out here because 20 years ago, someone I loved died in these rocks, and the company that killed him covered it up. Every ship I take, every credit I steal, it all goes to the families of miners who died in accidents that weren't accidents at all. I'm not a pirate. I'm a reckoning. The words hit me like a meteor strike. I think of all the stories I've heard, all the assumptions I've made. The Comet Witch, the ghost of the shipping lanes, the terror of the outer rim. But she's not a monster. She's something else entirely. A woman who turned her grief into a kind of justice, however twisted. The Meridian Mining Consortium, I say, the pieces falling into place. They had a facility out here. Sealed it up after the cave-ins. After they murdered 300 miners to hide their safety violations, she corrects. My husband was the safety inspector who tried to blow the whistle. They made it look like an accident, but I know better. I've always known better. Her ship drifts closer, and I can see her face clearly now. There's pain there, old and deep, but also a kind of fierce determination that I recognize. It's the look of someone who's chosen a hard path and walked it to the end. So what now? I ask. You kill me to protect your secret. I don't kill Mr. Thorne. Never have. But I can't let you take me in either. Too many families are counting on me. I stare out at the floating cargo, at the woman who's become a legend, at the choice that's crystallizing in the space between us, like ice forming on a viewport. The bounty's 50,000 credits, enough to buy a new ship, maybe retire to one of the inner worlds. But looking at her now, seeing the truth behind the legend, I realize some things are worth more than money. The consortium's still operating, I say slowly. Still cutting corners, still getting people killed. Every day. I reach for the comm controls, but not to call for backup. Instead, I switch to an encrypted frequency, one that reaches all the way back to the core worlds. This is Marcus Thorne, Bounty Hunter License 77 Alpha. I'm transmitting coordinates for the Meridian Mining Consortium's sealed facility in the Kepler Gate asteroid field. You'll find evidence of corporate malfeasance resulting in the deaths of 300 miners 20 years ago. Her ship goes silent, and I can almost feel her staring at me through the void. When she speaks again, her voice is barely a whisper. Why? Because you're right. Some reckonings are worth more than bounties. The silence stretches between us, like a bridge made of starlight. Then her ship begins to move, not toward me, but toward the floating cargo. She takes it aboard with mechanical precision, but when she speaks again, there's something different in her voice. The families, she says, they still need help. Then keep helping them, but maybe it's time to think about coming in from the cold. There are other ways to fight a war. And you, what will you tell them back on Mars Central? I look out at the stars, at the vast darkness that holds so many secrets. I'll tell them the Comet Witch died out here in the asteroids, went down fighting, ship destroyed, no body recovered, case closed. Another pause. Then, Marcus Thorne. That's a good name for a man who keeps his word. What's yours? Your real name, I mean. Sarah Chen. Well, Sarah Chen, what are you going to do now? Her ship begins to drift away, fading back into the shadows between the asteroids. What I've always done. Watch over the people who can't watch over themselves. But maybe it's time to find a new way to do it. If you ever need backup, I say, you know how to find me. Her laugh is softer now, warmer. I might just take you up on that, Mr. Thorne. And then she's gone, vanished into the dark like smoke on the solar wind. I sit alone in the Reckoning's cockpit, staring out at the place where she disappeared, and I realize something has changed. Not just in her, but in me. Sometimes the real treasure isn't the bounty you came to collect, but the truth you find along the way. I turn the ship toward home, toward Mars Central and the report I'll have to file. The Comet Witch is dead, I'll tell them. Lost in the asteroids, another legend consumed by the hungry dark. And in a way, It'll be true. The woman who haunted these shipping lanes for 20 years is gone. But Sarah Chen, the woman who fought for justice in the only way she knew how, she's still out there somewhere. The void between Kepler's gate and the Titan colonies holds its breath like a gunslinger after the draw. Out here, where the solar winds whisper secrets to dead ships and the stars watch with cold indifference, legends die and are reborn. My name's Marcus Thorne, and I came hunting a ghost. Instead, I found something rarer in the black. I found hope. 3 months later, the Meridian Mining Consortium collapses under the weight of a corporate investigation that traces back to an anonymous tip. The families of the dead miners finally get their justice and their compensation. And sometimes, late at night when I'm running freight through the outer rim, I catch a glimpse of a ship that moves like liquid shadow, watching over the trade routes with guardian eyes. The Comet Witch is dead, but Sarah Chen lives on, and the darkness is a little less dark because of it.